Hey guys, it's the Lord here, back again with another review, and today we're having a look at 4 Horseman Studios Mythic Legions Coliseum Wave Rahmulus. Let's get into it. Alrighty guys, now as I said before, today we're having a look at Rahmulus. He is part of the Mythic Legions Coliseum Wave of figures that sold out in a ridiculous amount of time, and I didn't get any, but luckily Discmania65 hooked it up, and I was able to pick this up off him for the retail price. It's fantastic. If you watched my trade box video from him, along with John Gaither over the weekend, you know I got this guy for the 35 bucks that he goes for, and let me just say, this thing is freaking sick. I don't know if Marvel Legends will be dominating the top 10 list this year, because I have more of these on the way. They should be here in the fall, right before Christmas time, so my birthday / Christmas present to myself, I think so. There's a couple on BBTS I want to pre-order. Like one of the vampires, and was it Vargas Vermilion, the blood armor? I don't know, some badass looking demon knight guy. But this dude is freaking awesome. He looks like a God of War type character, which I'm a sucker for Greek mythology and stuff like that. I wish I had one of the Minotaurs for this dude to square off with, and I'm actually surprised that they didn't put another Minotaur in this wave. For a Coliseum wave, there was a sheer lack of gladiators and anything to do with the Coliseum. Interesting. But with that being said, we're just going to jump to the chase and get right into this guy. So let's start with all of his accessories. So in the way of Rahmulus's accessories, he does come with quite a bit of stuff. No interchangeable hands or heads, unfortunately, but he does come with enough to satisfy at least my needs. I don't know, some of you guys will picky with the accessories. But the two things he was quote-unquote packaged with, already attached, I guess you could say, is this little strap piece, which has a slot in it for a sword. I wouldn't call it a sword sheath, necessarily, because when I think of that, I think of, like, well, DC Classics Deathstroke, where it's actually a sheath, a physical object you put the sword in, a holder, a holster, whatever. And then he also has this big old spear. Now, I do believe this is common with a lot of the Mythic Legions figures. This and the little strap here, I'm pretty sure almost all of them come with this. Not so much this, but I think they all definitely come with one of these guys. This is the standard sword. A very, very nice sword. Very, very large sword, too. I like the handle, like how it kind of has demonic horn look, and then a big old spike on the bottom for when he just wants to stab you in the face. Awesome. He also has a shoulder pad. It's very nifty. It's in this gold color. And it's a little dark, sorry. Let me get a little closer, maybe that'll help. Yeah, it helps a little bit. You can see some of the red in there. Definitely adds to the golden arm look the figure is sporting. Kind of wish he had a shoulder pad for the other side, but I'm not going to complain. And then he comes with the shield. Now the shield has a separate clip piece. Now the clip piece is a little tight at first. Now I'm not going to lie, I was afraid I was going to break it. But if you put this on a certain way, and I'm going to show you, you will probably not break it. What I like to do with swords, shield clips, is I like to put them on the skinniest part of the wrist and kind of rotate them into place. And I'm glad they left this piece off. You can just peg it in. And yeah, so I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. First, we're just going to arm this guy up. Now, these dudes have interchangeable heads. Like I said, this one does not have one. Sorry about the wacky zoom there. But his head will come off. Now mine, the whole neck comes off. But that's okay. It goes right back on. But how he had this little strap dealy on him in the packaging. Just lift that arm up. Let me me double check this thing, make sure I'm putting it on the right way. I like to have it this way. That way it kind of looks like it's attached to the shoulder pad. And then we will just put his head back on because he needs his noggin. There. And there you go. This is basically how he came packaged. And, yeah. I do like the strap, though. It's definitely adds a little bulk to the figure. Now, the shoulder pad. These dudes have a little bit of a pig assembly in the back. And I should have waited until after, but I could just move this out of the way. It's got the two larger peg holes there. I think they're different sizes, too. But they're different sizes, and then he's got this big one here. I wonder if that's for wings or something. Maybe a cape, but the capes are cloth. I think they just peg in underneath the shoulder pad. But what I like to do is I like to have this strap kind of tucked in underneath the shoulder pad, and then I'll just peg the thing in, put it down, and give it a little more push. Because I don't think these are supposed to peg in all the way in case you do want to use a cape. Because mine, there's definitely a little bit of clearance there. You can see that. There is like a fingernail of clearance. That's how skinny the gap is. And while that is there, it doesn't bug me all too much. It's alright. And then you just want to leave this out so you can slip the sword in there. Oh, that sounded kinky. But you could put the sword in there, and then that kind of covers up the other holes. But before we do anything with that, let's put that shield on. Like I said, I kind of do it this way. You kind of do have to just kind of clip it on, and then you can rotate it into place, and then there you go. It's been stretched out a little bit since I've had it, because I've had the shield on him like all week. Almost 2 weeks now. I've had him for a week. And then you can just peg the shield right in. Like so. And there you are. You got Rahmulus. I can't remember if it's Romulus or Rahmulus. Sporting his mighty shield. And, yeah. Looking like a champ. Now, the sword, I'm probably going to have him holding it, but I'll just put it in the sheath for review purposes. Actually, you see him sporting the sword in the intro and outro anyway. It doesn't matter. So, just putting that in there. Kind of have it resting on the shoulder pad there. Gives you a nice little silhouette. Of Rahmulus there. Rahmulus. Again, I forgot if it's with an R or an O. Or R and an O. A or an O. Stupid. And then the spear, you can just have him hold the spear. It's not anything too crazy. And there you have it. There is Rahmulus, ready to kick some serious ass on the battlefield, or in the arena in this case. Very, very nice figure. Very nice. So with that being said, let's strip this guy down and take a look at his articulation. So in the way of Rahmulus's articulation, it's nothing I haven't seen before, actually. Very similar to that of a DC Comics Multiverse figure, or in the ankle department, I guess an import to a modern-day Marvel Legends figure. But other than that, it's pretty standard stuff. Nothing I haven't seen before, but let's just get right into it. He has a swivel at the neck, actually, right there, and then his head will rotate on top of that. Mine was a little stuck, but since I've popped it off, it's loosened up a little bit. So I can move that around a little bit more freely than I used to be able to. I like the fact that they kind of gave him these faux shoulder pads here. Or maybe that's just holding the armor on, but they look like shoulder pauldrons to me. Smaller ones. He's got a pretty wicked diaphragm joint. Look at that. I can go all over the world. Look at that. This is what I want. This is like some Black Series stuff right here. Nice, clean diaphragm joint. He's got this belt piece, which I can assume you can pop off if you wanted to. Probably if you unpeg the upper torso from the lower torso. I'm not going to do that, but the options are there if you wanted to do that. His shoulders will move out about that far. He's made out of a nice plastic too. This is like some Diamond Select style plastic, so you know it's not crap. His arm will move forward and back too. Single joint at the elbow. Gives you a little bit, maybe over under 90 degrees. It's hard to tell. It does rotate there as well. Looks clean. Oh, you frickin' Marvel Legends guys out there. He's got a gauntlet swivel, which I actually did not notice until I think I accidentally moved one. And I was like, oh, his gauntlets move. And then he's got a swivel at the wrist and a hinge, which works significantly well. Hard to see it on this backdrop. My apologies, but there you go. His hips, or this arm, I should say, will move out a little bit less due to its bulk. So, in case you were wondering, and yeah, the elbow joint's going to be a little constricted there too. Not exactly 90, but again, what are you going to do with that armor? It's so much armor. He's got a swivel there at the gauntlet as well. But his hips, they're pretty much Motu Classic style hips, where they're the T-joint, and they work pretty flawlessly, not gonna lie. He would probably be able to do the splitsies had it not been for the skirt here. But they do move out, they do move forward and back. He's got a thigh cut up in there. Single joint at the knee gives you 90, boy. Very nice. Swivel at the boot. I don't know if it doesn't look too bad. I was afraid the knee pads were gonna stick out a little bit, but they don't. Never mind. And then he's got the best ankle joint in the business. It's got the rotation, it's got the hinge, and it's got the rocker. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I cannot express how much I am gushing over this figure because it's freaking fantastic. You need to own like 20 of them. But, so I only know one person who owns 20 of these. You know who you are, you lucky bastard. So, with that being said, time to move on to some size comparisons, which I'm sure you guys are curious because this is the first one of these I've ever reviewed, how he stacks up next to other things I collect. So we'll just get right into that. And looking at Rahmulus next to Rahmulus again. Who cares? Next to a couple of other figures of medieval descent, we have the Black Knight from Marvel Legends, the Cull Obsidian Wave. I don't think he's too small, to be honest with you. I mean, to be completely honest with you, I think Rahmulus fighting in an arena for his life would be a little bigger than the average dude. I don't think the Black Knight's too short, but I do think the Mythic Legions do work a little better with the Motu Classics figures like Hordak over there, which actually does look like a Mythic Legions figure, Carpathius, one of the vampires. That's probably where they got the inspiration from. But yeah, definitely, if you fudge him in, I think Marvel Legends could work, and then obviously Motu Classics definitely will work. So yeah, with that being said, time to move on to final thoughts. Alrighty guys, so wrapping up with final thoughts, this is an amazing figure. It's a beautiful piece of art. It's more than I expected, to be completely honest with you. I mean, my expectations were already pretty substantial thanks to a good friend of mine, Dismania65, who owns a crap load of these. But now that I have one, I'm definitely hooked, and I intend to pick up more, which I already have. The Advent of Decay, I definitely picked up some from that line. Wish I had ordered a couple more, but money is money, and I don't crap gold. These dudes range about anywhere between $22 to $35 a piece. The ones with unique names tend to be in the $35 to $40 range. But the shipping is actually pretty cheap if you order straight from the Horsemen themselves. $7, no matter how large the order. Very, very good deal. But, yeah, this dude's going to cost you a lot more than $35 now, because the secondary market value on these things skyrockets the second they're sold out on BBTS. So, unfortunately, you will have to resort to secondary market prices if you want to get a hold of this guy. But is he worth that? No. No figure's worth $100. That's this size in my book. Maybe the Reveltex, but I haven't gotten one of those in hand yet, so bite me. But this dude definitely worth a $35 price point all day long. I think Mattel and Super 7 are crazy for charging $30 to $35 for Motu Classics, because they ain't got crap on these. And those are Four Horsemen products as well. This is definitely showcasing what the Horsemen are capable of, and definitely is a fantastic line of beautiful pieces that I would love to own more of, and eventually I will. There are a couple I would like to pre-order on BBTS from Wave I missed out on, that they re-released. Carpathius actually being one of those, the one I mentioned that looked like Hordak earlier. But yeah, these are definitely kick-ass figures. I highly recommend, if you have the money, check them out. I think the cheapest ones are like $40 on BBTS, but even those probably worth it, because they do come with a lot of stuff. But with that being said, if I was going to rate this guy, it's 10 out of 10, man. This is probably the best figure I've gotten all year. In terms of quality, in terms of sheer what it comes with, bang for your buck. The price point is a little bit steep, but it's justified at this point for me. So if I'm willing to pay it, that means you ought to be too. But before I go, special thanks to Dismania65, who ordered an extra one of these so I could get one, because it's rant time. Four Horsemen, I love you. You make awesome toys, but your website is crap. The bandwidth on that thing is smaller than one of my chest hairs. I swear to God. But whatever. We have guys who ordered 10 of each of these and scalped them to thank for that. So kiss it. But hopefully they'll start putting a little bit of a limit on things, because that's freaking lame. My dad and I were sitting at the computer for a good 40 minutes to an hour waiting for our order. We logged in 10 minutes before the sale. We had all the stuff added like 3:02. It started at 3, and then we didn't even get to check out. We got the blank screen, which I don't know if that would have fared differently on my computer or anything of mine, but I definitely couldn't access it from my iPod. But my iPod's old and crappy, to be honest with you, at this point, in terms of doing much anyway. So it's good for music. That's about it. But yeah, get your website fixed, and you know, even though I'm just gonna pre-order from now on, just for future customers, so you don't lose any, or you can actually gain some, because my dad was all for the skeletons. So with that being said, again, this is a beautiful piece. 10 out of 10 easy for me. Highly recommend you check these out when you get the chance. literally when you get the chance. They're about to do another pre-order, I think, next month. I'm definitely on for that one. So, yeah. That being said, don't forget to comment, to like, and subscribe. And until next time, I will catch you guys later. This is Sparta!